So this week had to be the best week of pregnancy so far, but before I get onto the reasons why, I thought I'd first discuss the symptoms for the week. So I haven't actually experienced any new symptoms, but what I have noticed is that my existing ones have just got a lot stronger. So nausea I touched on in week 6. I think I literally felt it on day 1 of week 6, and I was wondering if it got better, it got worse, or it stays the same throughout. So this week, I think it was almost earlier into the stages of week 7, I just noticed that it was coming a lot more frequently. So my nausea literally comes and goes throughout the day, and I was noticing that it might have stuck to maybe one sort of time in the day, which typically for me was around 11, and then by the time I sort of got to lunchtime, it sort of phased out. But now I've noticed that it might last a little bit longer, or it will come back in the afternoon. One day I was literally eating dinner, and after my second bite I just felt sick, and it was so hard to stomach because I was so hungry and I was so excited literally a few seconds ago, but then it just came over me and I just struggled to eat. But obviously I was hungry, so I knew that I had to, so I was just finishing the meal, just really not enjoying it, knowing that I'm doing it because I should and not because I want to. And it's so frustrating because I mentioned this in week 6 that for me, nausea doesn't actually make me lose my appetite. It just makes me not want to stomach anything. So I could literally be so hungry, be so excited to eat, and then if it just hits me, I'm just struggling to stomach. So it's annoying because you have to fight against your hunger with it. So that's something I've definitely had to get used to. But I have noticed that certain foods do actually help quite a lot. So I was looking at the usual, you know, fruits, veg, high fiber foods. They're always a good shout. So what I decided to do was make a massive chicken and vegetable soup. Literally lasted a good few days. I was just eating that because I just really fancied more wholesome foods, more hearty foods, I like to call them, but just something really warming. And this was full of vegetables. I also made some really nice salads, and also have been snacking on fruit and veg, so oranges and avocados. But what I have noticed is that, number one, so far I haven't eaten anything and gone off of it at the time, or the thought of it before has put me off. So I'm still excited about that food. If anything, more excited because it just feels more fresher and just really good. But I also noticed that the next day, although my symptoms don't disappear, they definitely ease up. So my nausea, it might come, but it might not last as long, or it might not be as intense. So it's one of those where I'm just used to just getting on with it, rather than at times where I've just sort of sat there and just had to really think, actually I don't need to be sick, try and think of something else to take my mind off it. It just became a lot more manageable. So I don't know if that's a placebo thing, or I honestly don't know, but just for me personally, I have found that that works. So I have opted just more for a lot more vegetables, a lot more salads, just a lot more colourful foods. And like I said, so far I'm actually still really excited to eat those foods. Another symptom that's not new but definitely has increased is tiredness. I've realised that normal daily activities that I used to do just tire me out so much quicker now. Like say if I'm cleaning the house, whereas before I would have a whole day, I would just sort of go into beast mode, spend hours, just don't stop until I'm done. Now I have to actually take breaks. So I'll do a little bit, I'll sit down, have a cup of tea, do a little bit, have a bit of lunch, and I just have to pace myself more. And obviously I'm trying to listen to my body, so it's, I guess, working against the mindset of what I used to be like, and just listening to, you know, I need to take it easy, it's not a race, you know, take your time, don't push yourself. So that's something I've had to get a lot more used to, that if I do feel tired, I just need to take the opportunity to rest. I don't need to feel bad about it. George is really encouraging with it too, so it's really nice to have his support to say, you know, just stop, or go to bed early, or just chill, or stop what you're doing. You know, I'm just, yeah, listening to my body, making sure that I'm not overworking myself, still trying to exercise and keep healthy. So I'll take the dog out for the morning, but if I do find that I wake up really tired or just not up for it, then George will take over. And if I'm up for it, I'll do a low impact pregnancy workout. But again, if I'm not feeling up for it, I just won't. I will literally just relax. So that's all the symptoms out the way. So now I'm going to get on to the reason why this has been the best week in pregnancy so far. So if you saw week 6, you'll know that we booked our viability scan, which is a private scan that you can do between 6 and 8 weeks to check the viability of the pregnancy. So you can see the baby, visualize the heartbeat, rule out multiple pregnancies, and you can date the pregnancy too, because obviously we always go by the last menstrual period date, but this time they can actually measure the baby and then confirm how far along you are. So we were so excited about this scan, and it honestly felt like it took forever to come. We booked it 2 weeks before and we were counting down the days, because obviously other than the pregnancy test, you don't actually know anything else about your pregnancy until your 12-week NHS scan. And let's be honest, who the hell can wait that long? It's mental. But we are so glad that we booked it, and I'm happy to show you, as promised, a scan of our little baby. Oh, honestly, I can't even express the emotions that happen in that scan appointment. It's just mental. So basically what happens is that it's done transvaginally, so internal, because obviously you're so small and you get a better picture of baby. But basically they explained this to you before, that they're going to go quiet for a few seconds just while they check everything, and then they'll let you know basically everything after that. So these few seconds, me and George are looking at each other thinking, it literally felt like forever. It was just silence and you just don't know what to expect. Obviously you hope for the best, but you just never know what they might say. So after a very, very long time, they finally turned to us and said, yep, we can see a baby, we can see a healthy heartbeat, and everything looks as good as it should at this stage. And we just, I swear I just bursted into tears. I was so happy and so relieved, and George was so relieved too. And then what they did is they put the screen onto the TV that was opposite us so we could see ourselves, and we finally saw baby. We saw the heartbeat. We literally saw like a little flicker. We literally just didn't want to stop looking. It was honestly such an amazing experience, and I would actually really recommend anyone in early pregnancy to go for these viability scans. Although you obviously pay for them, I think personally for me it's worth it, just because it gives you that reassurance in that sort of testing period up until 12 weeks, just so you know that everything's progressing as it should be. So they also measured baby, and based on my last menstrual period, we thought that we would be 7 weeks and 5 days, but they actually confirmed that we were 8 weeks on the day. So we're 2 days ahead of what we thought, which again was amazing, because obviously with this last menstrual period thing, it's kind of an estimation, not a guarantee. So really we could have been a lot less gone, maybe 6 weeks even. But for them to even say that we were a little bit further just made us feel so much better, because we were 4 weeks closer to getting through the first trimester. So at the end of the appointment, they give you options to buy scan pictures, which you obviously did, and also a video of the scan, so where you can see the little flickery heartbeat. So I'll add this now for you guys to see our little bubba. So that brings us to the end of week 7. So what to look forward to next week is our midwife booking appointment. So I can't wait to discuss how that all goes and all the new symptoms that I experience next week. So thanks again for watching, and take care. Bye.